Go.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with my boys, PD and Kyle. Say what's up, gents?
Hey, what's going on?
Yo, ready to rock.
Today we're talking about that hot episode that just came off of HBO Max, Lanterns 2. Lanterns episode 2. We got a lot to talk about and how good they're taking care of this stuff. But first of all, we're gonna have PD give us a little breakdown on this case before we even start them.
Why don't you give it a breakdown?
So
Because he said you're going
breakdown
to give it the brack. You're going to give it the
the
brack down. Give it
breakdown,
the
the
brack down,
breakdown.
PD. Brack down. Brack down.
So basically, this is a pretty. This episode is called Trust Fall, and in this episode, we basically get to see both Hal Jordan and John Stewart separated. They're doing their own thing. We see why those two really should be the Lanterns, right? There's a lot more going on with Hal Jordan. He's not the broken down, mean or evil person that some people are saying that he is. And John Stewart, you see that he's rising to be who everybody thinks John Stewart should be. Probably the biggest thing, the biggest two big things that were coming out here is that I'm just going to drop it. Manhunters. They dropped the name. They dropped the word. Manhunters. Who are they? What are they? Their significance to the whole Green Lantern Corps mythology, Oa, and how this impacts what's going on here with Green Lantern, with Hal Jordan, and how that's affecting what's going on. We also have probably one of the most important characters in all of Green Lanterns, Sinestro himself. He who was I believe he was the teacher of um of um
Hal Jordan.
of Hal Jordan. So without him, Hal wouldn't be who he is. So we have
What? What?
Sinestro. Sinestro is the
What?
master.
Oh, yeah.
Sinestro is the master, and now Hal is the master to John. So you see how the legacy continues. So here I'm gonna
Okay.
give.
Okay. No, no, no. Because everybody gets taught by the same dude. Everyone gets taught by the same dude. I was going to pass it to, I was going to pass it to PD, but I want to do it myself. Everybody gets taught by Kilowog. Okay. So if that's the case, Kilowog is the master. Come on, man. I get that you like these villains, but come on. Don't do that. Some people really don't know anything about Green Lantern and they're trusting you. Don't do that.
Because
Hey,
we
I'm just
also
saying.
see Sinestro in jail. What kind of how great a teacher could he be?
In jail without no bail. In
So
jail.
we don't know why he's in jail. So, and that's the whole purpose of us trying to understand why did one of the greatest Green Lanterns end up in jail? But look,
Because
let's
he
get down
because
to
he
the
turned
episode.
evil. Because he turned evil. That's why.
Let's we talk about that another
No, we're
time.
not doing any save because he was saving the universe. He had to save the universe. Every bad guy has to do something to save somebody else, or else that sort of nonsense.
We digress. We're talking about Trust Fall, the episode. What was your take on it? Let's start first with Hal. Hal starting off in the town and there's nobody around. What do you guys think about that?
No, the hard part I had with this is that he's the opposite of what you said. You said that he wasn't a ragtag, whatever. He doesn't charge the ring. He's not cognizant of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes, I can, double click it like one of those freaking like your gas can. I'm gonna double click the ring. I can get 5 more minutes out of it, and then of course he bluffs his way into getting shot. So he is exactly everything that you not everything. He's not anything that you said. He's on there going on no kind of thing. It's totally unhal in everything he's doing, and at the same time, it wound up it's showing that he's reckless, right? But then at the same time, we see, John Stewart's on the other hand, we're building up John Stewart's character, right? He goes in, he not only goes and gets the lantern for him, he gets the suit. And then he said, why did you bring that thing? He winds up needing that thing, right? So then at the same time, we find out the trust fall is that these unknown aliens that kidnapped him is telling John, don't trust Hal. Don't trust Hal. Don't trust you a-holes. You kidnapped me to tell me not to trust them. That's not how trust works. You know, you want to talk. Don't. I got to tie you up, kidnap you, have you run, run on the, hop over cars, and then tell you you can't trust Hal. And let me give you let me do the heart to heart mystery, Manhunters. It's like we can't get this. They can't find any clues to figure out, and neither Hal nor John Stewart know anything about Manhunters. They don't have any clue, and they even got this. It turns into a heart to heart mystery. You remember Heart to Heart when they got together with Murder? It's like
Mm-hmm.
that. You know, in Heart to Heart,
Just
they would go on vacation, right? They go on vacation, they be
and fall
hanging out,
and
kissing.
fall ass backwards into some murder mystery.
They're on the beach. They're kissing on there about to, make out on the beach, and a body just rolls into them. It's like detective work is. You saying this is a true alien detective? Besides saying alien, 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 go find some pieces and find your aliens.
Okay.
And
Thank you, PD. Cal, can you go back to the beginning in the town when Cal is by himself? What is your take on that?
First off, I want to say I like the episode. It was entertaining. Okay. I know you wanted to hear that, but I mean, come on. I mean, the stuff Petey's saying is dead on. He's over here. Since when can you punch the ring and get 5% more? Since when does that
But
happen?
they said that's in the comics. They said that's in the comics. It does
Which
happen.
comic?
I don't know. We have
But
to
I
look
Which
it
wasn't
up.
comic?
talking about that. I was talking about the fact that he wasn't cognizant of it, and he was just doing something that is basic.
Well,
Is that it
even
wasn't
that,
about
even
saying,
that for me is like a problem because
yeah,
this whole idea of him he's got the lantern and the lantern's back at his house and he's got to go home to recharge it. That's the Silver Age. They haven't had to do that in a while. Now he's just supposed to have like some pocket dimension where he can just go right into the pocket dimension and get the lantern. He can charge anywhere. That whole thing of like, oh, I left the lantern at home, and because back in those days he had to charge it once a day. It was only good. The charge was only good for 24 hours. So even if he didn't use it, he had to charge it once a day and the charge would dissipate. That's how it worked. So this right over here, I haven't seen this type of stuff. I mean, it's also that the ring isn't yellow doesn't affect the ring any longer either. So you have those things. But to answer Mars's question, sorry for the digression. To answer Mars's question, the opening with Hal was entertaining. Okay, the opening with Hal was entertaining. What I forget the guy's name. Is it Joe Chandler? He's having fun with the
yeah,
role. Anybody who saw Friday Night Lights is like he's on a football field
Kyle
again.
Chandler. Yeah.
Yeah. And you can see him piecing it together. Very, very. He's he's doing more detective work. He's doing more detective work in these two episodes of Lanterns than I've seen the Batman do in just about all the films up until like the most recent one. So all of these things that he's doing.
Wait. Bite your tongue, bro. Bite your tongue. All right. Let's not go
No, I'm sorry. The Batman, with the exception of the last movie that came out with Matt Reeves, is not a detective. Okay, I don't know. He's not a detective. He's a bunch of other stuff, but he's not a detective. Hal
well,
Jordan, however, here is doing a lot of detective work. It's fun to watch him put it together. That whole scene with him in the town hall, stuff like that. I mean, it's not Hal's character, but it's still written well. You're getting good mileage out of it. And it does make me torn because you got people who that's not Hal Jordan, and they're gonna think it is him, but it's working because of the acting, because Chandler's really having fun with it. So I'm torn because I would love people to get to know Hal Jordan, but this is still entertaining. And that opening with Hal is still entertaining. John, I was a little disappointed that they took him down that easy. He was like, well, bop, and then they just kind of like, bam, bam, we're gonna charge your ass. And I was like, that's it? Okay. I mean, John's kind of like, you're having sex with nondescript women, and then you're letting these guys get the drop on you. I'm like, come on, man.
They're
not
Come on,
aliens,
John.
bro. Don't you see how faster and stronger they are?
Hmm?
I mean, they're aliens. They're
That
faster
doesn't
and stronger.
matter. That doesn't matter. John is black. That doesn't matter.
So going back
well,
to
no.
the
Let's go. Let's stick with the detective work. The
yeah.
saying that they didn't. The thing is, what they did do that was pretty strong was when he's and it's doing for comedy, him bringing the aliens through, but testing the actual metal detector scene is not
Yeah,
actually detecting metals. So that's how the guns got in, and then it's detecting aliens. So it's like,
right.
oh, the other part, but not
That's
saying
how
stuff we
that's
can
how they knew
figure
who
out
to
at
shoot.
home. Yeah. So all that stuff not said, and then it leads them into going in to the bluff. So but those things of him carrying, it's all visual, it's extremely visual, even though there's comedy to it. There's a lot of strong visuals to that stuff. Um, and yeah, it was tough seeing him, him getting shot and wind up in the hospital. And
Did
that,
you like it though?
no, not the idea of him getting shot. I think the
No, the
idea,
idea of the aliens, the comedy when he was going back
yeah,
and forth with another.
I said I like the fact him driving. I didn't like him getting, caught again by the person, but it was funny and that sort of
Okay.
thing. And the other thing is like when the car's a mess, we got the ring. Yo, this is a good time to clean up the car immediately, like because he had all of the alien goo in there. So that's alien goo. Clean the car up.
Who would have thought of that one? I'm not thinking of cleaning the car.
What?
He's a
This is car.
detective.
Fix the car. Put the bumper on the front. The whole thing. That's what the ring is for.
Okay, actually, that's exactly one of the questions I had in with Justice League. I mean, with Green Lantern. When they make these constructs, and we'll talk about John Stewart in a second. When they make these constructs, are they permanent? Can they be permanent, or is it only
No,
as strong as
no,
his
Well,
will?
we have
no.
a little birdie. A little
So,
birdie
Well,
says
so, so,
that's supposed to be a nod to John Stewart. Traditionally, I don't know because this whole thing I don't know what they call them in the comics. They never really call it constructs. That's like something they got out of the movie with Ryan Reynolds. But when they create grid, now I can't think of any word other than constructs. Anyway, whatever creations they make are temporary. Are temporary. You can create creations that are with permanence. Hal Jordan's done that before. The significant thing with John, however, is he doesn't even have the ring on anymore. And the bird is still existing. He's still able to control it. So that's different. That's different. I can't remember anybody doing that in the comics. I'm pretty certain it's happened. I just can't remember it. So when Hal sees that, he's like, okay, not only is this thing here, you created the bird, okay, but when the ring comes back to Hal, the bird should have disappeared.
right.
And John still has control over the bird as well. He still has control over it. So that's what's significant about it. Now, I don't know how comic accurate that is, to be quite honest. I know you can create stuff and it has permanence. That's been done before. Hal Jordan created an entire city and it lasted. That's not a big deal. But the fact that he created something that I mean, it pretty much is like he created life and he's sustaining it by his own will. That's the significance of this. It's not like a dollar bill or a bottle cap.
Yeah, because I mean, I always wondered like when a building gets destroyed and they rebuild it back, they always use that green energy. I'm saying, is it going to be temporary? Or is it going to
oh
be
the tools. It's just the tools to put the building back together.
Right. The
It's
building is
not
still
the
the
actual.
building. It's not
Yeah.
yeah, it's not the Green Lantern building now, like that type of it's not Green Lantern glue like Gorilla Glue.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Yo, Peter, you gonna let the people know? Come on, man. You're taking shots. Come on.
I'm
Tell them.
not
Tell
taking
them.
no shots. No
All right, I'm
shots
gonna
in
do
my
it.
end.
Mars, you sorted it out?
Wait, what?
He's got the Daredevil shirt on, man.
I see the Daredevil shirt. I don't know what he's trying to
Who is
say.
Daredevil? Come on, who's Daredevil?
The man without fear.
Right. So that's what Sam is saying. Sam is saying, who's the real man without fear? It's Daredevil,
Well,
not these
no, I would
jokers
say it
running,
like this. I would say it like
not
this.
these jokers running around.
I bet Stanley took some of the stuff that he liked the most from Marvel. Stanley and Jack Kirby, they looked around and the stuff that they liked, they picked and they piecemealed it in different ways into different aspects of the comic book. So, the person being a daredevil and jumping, that sort of thing. So I would say it's probably directly rooted to saying what is the stuff we liked, and then they pulled it and used it in different ways. So no
I've
shots here.
I've always thought of Daredevil, however, as the man without fear, not so much Green Lantern.
I didn't say that. See, Mars, that's
I
on you.
know,
Do whatever
I
I
you
heard
know,
it.
but that's just
I'm not.
hey, Daredevil. Hey,
I'm...
Green. The hook to Green Arrow is pretty much you got the most powerful weapon in the universe. It's only limited by your will and imagination.
Mhm.
Okay, it's the most powerful thing. I mean, literally, it's only limited by what you can imagine. But Daredevil, yeah, that's the man without fear.
Well, now that we've introduced the idea of Manhunters without showing them that sort of thing, and we have these other aliens that we don't know who they are as of yet. So we're getting this stuff where people are telling them these things, and that portion of the detective work isn't coming up in there. what do you feel about Hal having no idea about this and having to now drag in Sinestro into this plot because of something
Dumb.
he knows?
That's just a stupid way to get Sinestro into the story. Come on. Do we really believe Hal doesn't know this stuff? He really like, oh, you know what? I gotta go to a higher up. I don't know, but there's one person who would know, Sinestro. Why the hell would Sinestro know this?
Because he doesn't trust the Owens. Remember, there's a whole story. So he doesn't want to go to the
Why
Owens.
would he trust Sinestro?
We don't. Well, he said because
Bingo!
he's saying because they're
Bingo!
saying that was his mentor, his teacher, right? I thought it was Abin. Well, Abin Sur
Okay.
died, but that was his teacher. So they're saying that he is
All
because of
right.
his teacher, he's going there.
No offense to anybody who's not familiar with these characters. Only you would have to be less than stupid to trust Sinestro. Okay, Sinestro is one of your quintessential villains. He can't be trusted. He can't, and he's proved that over the years. There is no reason for Hal Jordan to be going to Sinestro for any type of advice.
You know why he is? Because it's David Lindelof. So you have to have the lost thing of having the was it the frog and the scorpion. You have to have a thing where you go to the bad guy. Hey, you know, if I help you, you're not gonna bite me. Okay, and
Yeah,
the idiot frog helps him. They're gonna keep doing
yeah.
this type of plot. He loves that stuff.
Who should he be going to? Hal should be going to the Guardians. That's
Yes.
who he should be
He
going
doesn't
to.
trust
But
them.
we can't go to the Guardians because why? We don't have the budget.
Well, we're
We
gonna
can
get to
do it.
that at the end. We're gonna get to that at
We
the
can
end
do.
because
We
we
can
got
put
something to talk about.
Sinestro. We can put Sinestro in some nondescript prison because we got the set for that, and we just put this dude in some makeup. But if we do the Guardians, we got to be on OA, and oh no, no, this is HBO 9 o'clock. We don't have the money for that. We don't have the money for that. We can't do that yet.
I think it was pretty good. It brings in Sinestro and of course in the future Parallax, but that's a whole nother.
Stop saying parallax.
You're jumping, man,
There's no
dude,
parallax in the
jumping.
HBO grounded show. You played that. You gave me the podcast to listen to. They wanted to be grounded. How is that going to be grounded with parallax?
Yeah, how are you gonna parallax when you got Hal Jordan getting shot, and they purposely gave him a ring that ran out of power so you could shoot him, so he could get a good talking to in prison, waking up handcuffed.
You know what they're saying? I don't know. I read this or saw this on one video where they're saying that the sheriff is um Batwoman. What is that? Cassandra Cain?
Kathy King.
Kathy
Kathy
Cain?
King.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't,
Well, they said
she
something
said she was
happened with
from
her,
Gotham.
and
In
yeah,
Gotham.
she was from Gotham, and that. But yeah, I don't know.
I'm like, are
I'll
you
be
for
honest.
real?
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. She looks okay.
grandmother would more be Kathy
Yeah.
King.
Well, no, I thought they were trying to tack younger. She looks like she's at the end of her career as Batwoman, not like she's been doing anything recent.
Well, they're saying that she and Kaz is older, right? They didn't want
Mhm.
him to be young because they're like, hey, if he's like 45 years old, he'll be like the LeBron. Like, why is he giving up his ring to John Stewart? So he's much older, according to the podcast, because this is really like the end of times for him. Not end of times, but end of his. He's about to retire. The Owens want to change him. But remember, he doesn't trust the
The
Owens.
ring can keep you old, keep you young.
Yeah.
Well, clearly not this ring because he looks rough, right? He looks busted, unless he's
Hal's
like trying to.
rough because he's got something else going on. We know he's not following protocol. We know he shouldn't let his ring get this depleted. We know he shouldn't be training John like this. We know he shouldn't be taking these risks. So obviously there's something that happened to Hal. Cause we're shown what Hal is like in 1996 when John Stewart is a kid. And now he's not acting anything like that. He's saying this BS about, well, the uniform I only wear it on special occasions. Yeah, okay. Good example for every cop in America, right? I'm only wearing the uniform during parades. So obviously there's something going on with Hal. We'll find out that later. But none of this, Hal shouldn't be acting like this at all. Obviously something happened.
Yeah, and well, oh man, what else can we do?
Carol Ferris probably, maybe she died or something. Who knows?
But what is it? The hard part is, I think, if manhunters pop up in this town and we do a lot of them, they could have some fun with this thing. But you can't really, the manhunters are shown to be a bigger thing that could be used later. So I mean, if this is gonna be a one and done, oh, he was the last one, and they take him out, then where's the fun in that? But ultimately, it's the story they're trying to tell. So they have the Manhunter, and they're going to I don't know. We get to see where it goes, but
So I was doing a little digging about this whole thing about there being one lantern per sector, one cop per sector, and which I thought this is what I always grew up and learned about it. But in comics, there have been some comics. So back in Green Lantern 1959 and 68, they said Ibn Abin Sur initially selected Guy Gardner as the active backup to Hal Jordan for Sector 2814.
yep,
So that's
Yeah.
pretty far back. And
Yep.
then you also have in 2005 they had the Green Lanterns Corps Recharge, where Jeff Johns and Tomasi, they had the Guardians of the Universe officially reestablish the mandate that every space sector is assigned two lanterns to act as partners and backup for one another. So I was wrong when I said there's only one. You know, there can only be one when you have Masters of the Universe. He-Man! But but they
No,
can't.
because the Earth is breaking this rule. Because if it's supposed to be two, Earth's got like 8. So literally, Earth is its own Green Lantern Corps. It's like literally. At some point, I think there's like in double digits.
But
But you're
because it's
correct.
busy as hell, because that's a hot sector, bro. There's a quiet sector like out in the suburbs. There's like 28. That's sector 2816, and then you have the hot
oh my
Brooklyn
god,
now,
you turn it
Newark.
into like freaking the Dirty
Two-
30 now. Now the Green
So I
Lantern
think that's
Corps
why
is
they're
the
like,
Dirty
yo,
30.
these humans
What was
is
ours? What was
nuts.
ours? The 71st precinct. You know that well, don't you, Mars? You know
What
the
is
you
it?
know
Fort
the,
Apache? This is Fort Apache, the
the
Bronx.
Bronx. Okay.
That's the Earth sector.
We
Like,
got the
these humans are nuts.
we got the 50s lanterns, and we got the 40s lanterns, and we got the
Awesome.
90s lanterns.
The
This is
BMW
not.
lanterns.
Yeah, we know.
Most wanted. Yeah. So yeah, it's
It's just that's just not the game. I mean,
it is the
every
case they
Green
say in the
Lantern,
comics. So I mean,
every green no, it's every game. How you get this done is every Green Lantern is supposed to have a backup. Guy Gardner was the backup, but then Guy Gardner gets injured in an accident, and while he's injured, and since he's injured in the accident, the ring goes to choose another backup, and then it chooses John Stewart, and that's how it rocked. It was green. It was Hal Jordan, John Stewart, Guy Gardner. Those are your three, and that was the situation for decades. That didn't change until Kyle Rayner. And then once Kyle Rayner got it and Hal Jordan came back, good grief, floodgates open. Then you got Jessica Cruz. Who else? I mean, I can't remember all of them. I
so
can't
here's a
remember all
question
of
for
them.
you: what happened to Hal Jordan? Why was
We
Cal?
will find
Probably we need a timeline, and probably that's what we need. Hal Jordan is number one. Then you say there's Guy Gardner, and after Guy Gardner, there's John Stewart.
Then
in the
Kyle,
comics or the show.
The comics. We're talking about the comics.
then Kyle
Yeah.
Rayner.
But
Hal
why?
Jordan.
The question
Oh,
is why?
what
Well,
happened? What
I mean,
happened is
you trying to get
Christ.
into some parallel X nonsense. We know
No,
you're
what
trying to get
happened
you
is
trying to get into parallel X
Did I
nonsense.
say that? Did I
what
say that?
no
Yeah,
I
what
take
happened
offense to
was
that.
crisis. What happened was crisis. That's what happened. They didn't know what to do with him. They did the same thing with Barry Allen, where they didn't know what to do with him anymore. They made him a killer, or rather, they tried to say he was a murderer. It didn't really wash. And then the series ended, and it ended, and Barry was already dead from Crisis. When they brought back Hal, they actually brought him back. He was older. They tried that, and they did the normal thing they do with these characters when they're like, all right, we can just put him on ice, or we can kill him off because he's not working. We bring somebody else in. And Hal was on ice for 10 years, but that whole thing was, him being parallax, all of that type of stuff. Everything of that was because, to be quite frank, they did not know what to do with his character. They tried aging him, they tried making him more gruff, they did this, they did nothing. Well, let's make him a bad guy. And after they made him the bad guy, we'll bring in. I don't think Kyle Rayner was meant to be a permanent replacement, but they were like, all right, we don't really got anything we can do with him. And so he, exit stage left, and Hal didn't come back for over 10 years. Over 10
well,
years. So all of that stuff that you go ahead. Wait a minute. Am I
I'll only
was
say
that that
only
thing with
say that.
Parallax? Was it circa Man of Steel?
No, it was he
Not
they'd already done they did Emerald Dawn and Emerald something else, and then you
was
had
it around
Emerald. Hmm?
that whole thing with Parallax. Let's look around Green Antidote. I'm trying to. Was that the same time as Death of Superman?
Yeah, after that, but after
Yeah,
it'll be after that. It'll be after.
yeah, that's the other thing that happened. That's the other thing that happened because after the death of Superman, everybody got that treatment. Batman got his back broken. Wonder Woman was no longer the emissary. She was no longer the ambassador of Paradise Island. Hal went, boo cuckoo crazy and became Parallax. Something happened with the Flash, but not as big as with those. Oh, and Green Lantern got killed. I mean,
Well,
legitimately got killed.
if the thing with like the Flash, DC and or Marv Wolfman and this whole of DC felt that Flash was done. Even though Marv says, "Oh, I had planned to bring him back," they were like, "There's nothing to do." They did do the trial as he said, but they were like, "He's going to be the end of that." And then I think that kind of bled over to when they were like, "Hey, we did all these things. We had all these different takes. We had Emerald Dawn that kind of did Dawn 1 and 2, which I guess did okay for them. But then the regular series they brought out, Mosaic, the regular Green Lantern, and something else didn't do as well. And they like saying, let's just blow it up and let's make it permanent. And the same thing with Green Arrow. Let's have Superman related to the death of Green Arrow after Man of Steel. And it's like, and let's keep it permanent. Only Batman and Superman, they got to come back. they come back. They come back in 9 months, or like that sort of thing. But they were trying to say, oh, Connor is the best. Connor is the best hand to hand combat person, better than Batman. Kyle Rayner is like the same way they were doing with Wally. They were like, these guys are the permanent ones. And you had Jeff Johns, who was kind of like, hey, I want to, even though he did a great job with Wally West, he's like, there's still something here for Barry. And then we got, with that working, then he could say, yeah, I want to do Hal. But I think DC was kind of like, doing it. The Justice League, they've been asking for trying to figure a current Justice League with all of the new people. So that Wally West, Kyle Rayner, and all the ones that hadn't been killed. So it was kind of as permanent as you could be in comic books, until you have a creator who says, I can do them, who was Jeff Johns.
Okay.
But he wants to get to this whole thing was just to get to more Parallax, to say, oh, they all died, and then we got a new Lantern. We had one Guardian left and Kyle Rayner, and then they were going to protect the universe with this one Lantern to make it unique, right? That's what they were doing, even though they'd already established there were 3 million of them.
Didn't make that it really didn't make a lot of sense. And I mean, I liked Kyle Rayner as a character, but he had 10 years of being the Solar Lantern. They never did any stories. They never did any stories that were really breakout for him. And even then, if they had changed their mind and said, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to bring back the core, which they tried to do because Kyle tried to get the core back together. They're like, we're going to bring back the core and we're gonna do like Blackest Night and Kyle Rayner. No, they didn't do it. And when the second they brought back Hal, they did the storyline. So you know, I mean, they decided the character who was the one to be the linchpin behind all of this. But Parallax was so bad that even later on, when Hal came back, they were trying to say, hey, Parallax could have been anybody. And then what did he do? I think the very next thing he infected Kyle Rayner. Like, yeah, now Kyle Rayner's Parallax. I was like, oh, good grief. Terrible, terrible.
Well, I think the hard part is when you come up with a new character, not Wally West, because everyone had different writers take different tones with him. With Kyle Rayner, it was just the guy who created him, who was Ron Mars. So not the same thing bad, but it's like he did this. They had a pretty long run of him, Daryl Banks, Terry Austin. That was a continuous series that did well enough. But then when that person was like, I'm moving on to something else, the writers are like, are we stuck with this guy? What can we do with him? And as you were saying, and another thing, I think Mars had kind of already brought back Hal within it. He brought him from the past, and he brought up the classic Hal in there. And they did the Emerald Knights, and that was probably one of the better storyline. Actually, at that point, it was the book was okay at that point. And that's really one of the decent points. But it said Hal could be good again, and Hal rejecting, even though Parallax was here, he was able to, like not be like fall apart. He was still being like, hey, I'm still here. I'm going to still fight against them. That sort of thing. So, um,
Yo, Petey,
what up?
what did you think of the Green Lantern, the Green Lantern outfit?
It's just a little bawdy for me. It could be great, but they
Real
should.
stiff.
Yeah, it could have been like you see him when he pulls it out there, then he gets it on. I'm like every DC outfit has just got this like when your parents got to fix your clothing. Come on, why is this sitting up here like this? And it looks like like you're uncomfortable.
Yeah, it
It
lacked
looks fine to me. I don't know. It's a standard dark,
no,
muted
it lacked
superhero.
flair.
It's
It
not
looked it
bright. They don't.
lacked
No
flair. It
one
shouldn't be
wears bright tights anymore,
Here
bro.
we go. Here we
Okay,
go.
we don't do
Hey, act
that.
like
nobody
you're a comic fan. Come on, please.
nobody wears a cardboard box either.
Yeah, there you go. Make it look. How does every time they get Spider-Man, they got 3 or 4 Spider-Man outfits, and that is got so much stuff to it, and it looks cool. Everyone else is tights. Every you go back to tights. Oh, what was it? Spider-Man's in tights. The whole movie. How was that? The most successful movie out there right now, and you're talking about tights? Come on. Complain about
Uh-oh.
something else.
Uh-oh. You got him. You got him. He's silent. You
Well,
got
all I
him.
gotta say, X-Men Midnight.
I don't know what you mean by that. But,
He's talking about that nonsense Marvel is doing to try to do their
oh
version of the absolute
yeah,
universe.
we might need to have to talk about that later. But let's talk about some other things since I think there's nothing left for the episode. We got
Hold
to
on,
talk
wait a
about
sec,
the
wait a sec.
Guardians.
Mars. Hang on a second. Mars,
Yes.
you read that nonsense? You read Marvel Midnight?
I haven't read it yet, but I've read the synopsis of it. So
Oh, yeah, okay.
I want to hear what PD got to say since he's our resident X-Men expert. But hey, let's finish this up, wrap this up, and let's get to
okay.
that.
Well, here's the teaser for the next episode. Um, let's take a look and complain. What do you say about the Guardians?
What do you want to say?
Why is it always have to turn him into a human when they repeat like what they did in what's that thing in the what's that thing Captain Marvel where they had it looking like Annette Bening, like oh
When they
the
turn,
supreme
you mean,
intelligence is the Annette Bening.
and they turn Marvel into a woman? Yeah, okay.
I guess it's cheaper than making everybody blue. You know what I'm trying
Yeah,
to say?
that's it. Budget. That's why you can do Sinestro. He's like, oh, we just put him in this frock and paint his face. See? There you go.
Just give them yellow lights and boom, you got them.
There you go. Aliens.
You're doing aliens. The whole thing of being grounded, have the aliens actually walk out there. No, that's not grounded. Grounded is them turning themselves into humans, like the what was it, the species that was in Voyager 8264. Oh, we got
Mhm.
this nice vicious thing, and the next thing you know, we see them in their human looks. It's like I don't want to see them. I want to see the aliens. Like, come on. All right, we understand there's a budget here, but um spend a little time on some Guardians. Get some actors. Get some. That's the other thing. Be some actors, some little people that they could get up as that. That could get some money for that. That like, come on. We're gonna get this
If
person who has an edge on her. She was in the Ozarks, and people hate her character. So then we have this is the perfect villain, the Guardians of the Universe, played by the Ozarks mother, and
oh
and the
goodness.
person was bringing them down.
That is terrible. That is so cynical. That is terrible.
Isn't that the whole point to juxtapose? You have the aliens, and here you have someone who looks like a nice mother, quiet and stuff. You know, so that's it. That's
That's
all they're doing.
worse.
They're doing the opposite.
No, we know this actress. The thing is, you don't hire people because you want them to play. Oh, we're gonna go play her. She's gonna be nice in this one. We got her because we want there to say everything that we think of. Oh, it's the this is the Ozarks mom who's the worst one who allowed her brother to die. All that stuff is feeding into what we're here, and he's not happy about it. Even though this is the thing he wanted all his life. So he's coming in here cocky, being like, I know why I'm here. Other thing there we go. We get to see the full outfit right there. Cal is worse than I thought. It is worse than I thought. It's like Lucy in the potato sack.
That is terrible. That is terrible. And
That's
then
why
what are they gonna do when John finally gets the uniform? He's like, yeah, let me watch me smooth this out. Watch me
I
smooth
make
this out
this
for
look
John.
good. Like it turns
That's right.
man.
What's he
well,
gonna
that's why
say?
they changed the outfit. That's why, because this
He's
one
gonna
is
come over here.
rough.
New hotness, old and busted. New hotness, old and busted.
Ah,
Okay, gents, let's wrap this
you
one
could
up.
have laughed at that one.
We're going way off
So you're
topic.
okay with this? That every time Hollywood does a movie with an alien, they show up as a human?
Hey, I don't want to see ET, bro. So I'm fine with that. I mean, you figure if they're here on Earth already, they're definitely
You
blended in.
liked E.T.
I
You
did
liked
not like
E.T.
ET. I did not
Yes, you
like ET.
did.
No, I did
Yes, you
not.
did. We all did.
No,
Yes,
I
you
did
did.
not. That's you.
You don't
Remember,
fool me.
you, please. I did
You
not
don't fool
like
me.
ET.
We all
I
liked
was like,
E.T.
why did everybody go see this thing? I don't even like
You
Reese's Pieces.
you are okay. Don't anybody believe him. You always do that. You like the same stuff we liked as kids,
Nope,
and now
did not
all of
like
a
it.
sudden, magically, you have this adult discernment. You were on
Nope,
a bicycle riding
Thank
like
you.
everybody else, thinking you
Finally,
were gonna fly.
nope. You can say that
thank
all you
you.
want. You could go. You can check with my brothers and my cousins. They'll say I wasn't crazy about that show at all. That was like underwhelming.
Yeah, all right.
I thought there was gonna be
Yeah,
like
you
a
didn't even know
battle or
what the
something.
word underwhelming was back then.
Well, now I know. And I'm
Exactly.
saying I was really underwhelmed. That's a shame. You know, it was like. But
You're
look, we
not talking
digress.
about it
We
in terms of
digress.
the
Let's
movie.
get to. Is there anything else we want to talk about this episode? Are
I'm
Um,
we?
looking forward to. I'm this much I will say. This episode has a bit more reveal, and they have like the bridge episode between what we've already been set up with, and then what we're going to get to in terms of the ending. So we start to get some stuff tying up together. So I'm looking forward to see that. I, I already know the Manhunters are in this, so that's that. But the guys who are like juking John in the head with the yellow stuff, I'm wondering, are these guys from Quad or something? Are these like some of Sinestro's people? So I'm wondering about that. What's going on? You know, what is officially going on with this town? I do want to know that. John keeps running into the same woman that he boinked. We got to get to the bottom. These are not coincidences, so we got to get to the bottom of that. So I am interested because I like mysteries. So I am interested in seeing how this all ties up. And we get that about episode 4. And I am hoping we get to see like another lantern. I hope it's not just the two of them, to be quite honest.
no, we're gonna see. You know,
Because
we're gonna
Guy
see.
Gardner's going to show. He's going to come up. They're showing
no,
it.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner's
I
going
don't
to
want to
be.
see Guy.
He shows
No,
up.
I don't want to see Guy Gardner. I want to see like to be honest, I really want to see Kilowog. I
Yeah,
either want to see Kilowog or Chip or what's the name? Katmatui.
yeah,
That's
that's
what I
my
want. I want to see
favorite.
somebody like that. I don't want to see I don't want to
Yeah.
see another human being.
So even I like Hal's girlfriend, even though she fell from favor because they're like, oh, she made herself old so she could be with Hal.
How is that? I don't understand how that's wrong. That's no different than waiting. That's no different than
He's like,
waiting.
no, no. Next thing you know, she's adult and she's up to speed as a lantern, and it's a cool character. But anyway, it's how it
You
is.
can't you can't age yourself unnaturally, but you can become a woman overnight.
Okay. Hey, so guys, anything else? I guess we'll wrap
Well,
this
the
show up.
last thing is that the second choice for John Stewart is here, but since he didn't get the role, he became the father.
Does he
That
have
was
a
the
British?
first choice for John Stewart.
The first choice is obviously Aaron Pierce, but this guy obviously went for the role and they gave him the father role. We got something for you. It's like for your troubles. This guy's in P Valley. If you've watched P Valley, um, please
He looks
support
like
him.
that's ironic because he looks like John Stewart from the comic. He looks just like him.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a
Sorry,
British
dude.
accent. Does he have a British accent?
No, you don't have no British accent.
Well, there it is.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. That's it. Ready? We're getting out of here. Spin rack.
Out.
Out.